Hello guys. In today's video I'm going to talk about every Apex settings you need to have. And it's basically
Now
when you
for my
have
choice.
the Apex setting, it's basically up to you what you will choose. But I will try to guide you to the best way of using your settings and getting up the most potential out of your gameplay. So let's go. Interactive prompt style. I have this on default. It's when you have this attachments here. As you can see, the box is really big, and for me it's better to see it. When you have this on compact, it's really small, I don't see it really well, it blends with the background, so I just prefer having this on default. Button hints, it's when you have, as you can see on down left side of my screen, I have my ability and I have X on it. So when you turn this off, you don't see it, you don't see any of it. I just have this turned off just because I like it. On crosshair damage feedback, if you have this turned on, let's say X with shield icon, when I shoot, you have this white X on your screen, and you have this red X when you just kill a guy. Oh, let me just reload. Okay, yeah, so I think it's bad, because when you shoot and you have this white X, it kinda blocks the view of your crosshair, and it doesn't help me get my shots right. So I think it's better to have this turned off, because now I don't have any X on my screen, and I can just see where am I shooting. So I think it's just better, because I can hit more shots with it. Yep, okay. Damage numbers. You can have this on stacking, you can have this. I don't use off, because when I will shoot, I will not get any info of how many HP I just shot at him. You can use floating as well, so you just have like this floating damage. It's really weird, I don't use it. It's a lot of people I saw are using both, so you have just stacking and floating. I think it's alright, but I think the stacking is best, because you can just say 166, right, or 84, you can just easily say how many damage you input on the guy. Ping opacity, you have default and faded. When you have this faded, when I ping,
Listen, let's move here.
as you can see, my ping is really not visible at all. Like, it's really dark. I don't think you should use it. Use the default instead. Let me use it now again.
We should go here.
As you can see, it's more visible now. It's a lot more visible, so that's just better in my opinion. Use this turned on, because you will see when people will get killed in a game, and it can help you analyze of how many people are alive on a team, so you can decide of when you want to push a fight or no. Minimap rotation, I have this turned off, because when I have my minimap just sitting and not moving, it's easier for me to just tell where I am exactly. Weapon auto cycle on empty, when you have this turned on, when your weapon is out of ammo, like entirely, you don't have any ammo left, your weapon will change automatically. I don't like this. I prefer to changing my weapon alone with no help, so I just have this turned off. When you have auto sprint on, you just always sprint, as long as you have your stick forward. It's best to have this on, because it will help you get more consistent movement, and I think it's better overall. When you have double tap sprint off, and on, double tapping your left stick will make you sprint. I don't think it's very good. I just have this turned off. Another thing, jetpack control. It's about a Valkyrie, so it's her.
Not done yet, Dad.
When you have this on hold, you need to hold your jump button to actually
Wings up.
use your jetpack, right? But when you have this on toggle, you can just press one button. I mean, jump once.
Wings out.
I just pressed it, and you can just press it again to turn this off. It's best to have this on hold because it's more accurate, in my opinion. I just have this on hold. I think you should too. Incoming damage feedback. It's when somebody is shooting to you from behind. You have this like half of the circle red behind you, and you will know from which direction the bullets are coming from. So I think it's best to have this on 2D. You can also have both. I think it's also respectable. Don't use the 3D. I think it's the worst. I think use both or 2D. Taking damage closes the box or crafting menu. I have this on off, and you should too. When you have this on, it basically can kill you in the game, because when you want to shield swap, you need to open a dev box. If you will get any damage and you have this turned on, your dev box will close, and you will not be able to shield swap, and you can die because of this. When you have this turned off, you can easily shield swap, and it might save your life in a fight. Hop up, pop up. I don't know what is this. I just have this turned on. Determines if the hop up pop up UI element will show when the hop up is attached to a weapon. I think you should have it. I don't know what it is, but I think it's good. Streamer mode. It's basically when you're playing as a streamer and you don't want to see any of the nicknames, and you can just turn this on, and the player names will not be showing to you. Anonymous mode is when you have this enabled, other players will not see your nickname. It will be just impossible to see it to other people. I just have this enabled. You have this enabled to play the game, right? Club invites enabled, up to you, right? You have the reticle here, you can customize it, and here you can just pick a color, whatever you want. I just have this green. I think it's the best because it's glowing. So in the dark area, you can easily see it, and on the bright, of course, it's not so visible, but I think it's alright. It's respectable amount of like seeing it. So I think it's alright in my opinion. Laser sight I have on default. I use colorblind mode, so like my color of the shields and of like the game, it's much more vibrant, so I just see things better in my opinion. It just helps me. I will just
This time
switch.
will be
Okay.
different.
What's next? Subtitles. I think you should have them turned off, because when you have them on, when
Should
your
put this blade in
character
my hands.
says something, you can
My
see
whole
the
life
subtitles, right? But when I have this turned off, you just can't see it, and when you're in the fight, it's really important to not have something on your screen because it will distract you from focusing on the game. So I just have them turned off. Here you can adjust the size of them if you have them turned on. I just have this turned off. I'm not using it. It's not for me. I'm not disabling voice chat. I want to communicate with my teammates when I'm playing the game. Here you can convert incoming voice chat text and incoming text chat as speech. Here you can use the choose button layout. So you can choose on what button, what activity you will do. Yeah, it's nice. You can just see it here, and if you don't like any of this, you can use customized, and you can just select it on your own. Stick layout. When you have this on different than default, your left stick and the right stick will like change, and you will use the left stick to what right stick is using, and like, you know what I mean, just your left stick swaps with right stick. So that's why. So I just think use it on default. I think it's the best one. Interact reload button. I have this on tap to use and reload. So when I'm reloading, I need to tap. And when I'm using something, like I'm opening the door or something, I just also need to tap. When I have this on tap to use, hold to reload, I need to tap to open the door, and I need to hold to reload. And when I have this hold to use, of course you need to hold to open the door, and you need to tap to reload. I'm just using this, I think it's best. Crouch button, I have this on hold, so I can hold my button to crouch. The same as aim button, I have to hold to aim. Survival slot button, if I have this turned on, you can see on my right downside that I need to hold like left stick, not left stick, like left button of the left side of my controller, so I can use like heat shields or mobile respawn beacon. I just have this on off because now I can spin my knife. I can use my animation to just spin it. So this looks nice, so that's why. L2, R2 button dead zones. If you have this on max, you will need to really use a lot of power to like press the button to end aim. If I have this on none, it's a lot more fast. It's really fast. You can just, it's a lot of more fast. You can just do it a lot of quicker, so you have the best and the fastest like I don't have the word, just give me a second. You have the quickest like response, right? So it's the fastest reaction time is the best. So just have this on none and you will be the beast at this game. Menu cursor speed, when you have this higher, this cursor will move quicker. I have this here. I think it just works the best for me. Here you have the sensitivity. When I lose it to very low, it's second. As you can see, I'm not really going fast. When I use it to insane, yeah, it's really fast. And I'm using it on 4. Here you have the look sensitivity for ADS, so it's basically your sensitivity when you're aiming. I have this on 3. I think it's the best to have it lower than your look sensitivity, not higher, because it will just not help you. Here you can adjust your sensitivity on different scopes that you have here, like this one, or this one, or even this one. I just have everything on the same sensitivity. It works best for me. Response curve. This one, it's like when you move your right stick, your game will respond to it in the game. And when you have this on classic, I'm just like, it's pretty normal feeling of the right stick, but when you have this on linear, let's say, it's more like responsive. I don't need to like move my right stick really strong to camera going, so I can just really put my right stick just 1 millimeter on the left, and my character will turn left. So it's really responsive. When I will do it on a classic though, it's not really like moving very much, as you can see. It's more like steady. Look dead zone. When you have stick drift, something like this, I'm not moving my right stick, and it's moving on my camera. You have to turn this up. So I'm just going to switch it to small, and now my camera isn't moving. It's just normal. But when I have this on none, as you can see, my camera is moving. So if you need to increase it, just do it. But smaller dead zone actually is better because you can control your aim better. Okay, another thing, movement dead zone. It can prevent your movement from drifting when you're not touching the stick, and only increase it if needed. Inverted look, of course, it will invert, so when you're going to look up, you will actually look down, but I don't think there's a good point to use it. Vibration, have this turned off because when you will shoot, your controller will vibrate, and it will not help you to get your aim good, so it's the best way is to have this turned off. If you don't like the default settings as here, you can use advanced look controls, and here if you turn them on, you have a lot of things to adjust to your own liking. I think it's too much for me. It's very complicated to set this up. That's why I'm just using a default settings here. On video, you have the brightness, of course, you can just adjust it of how you want. And you have the field of view. When I have this on 70, as you can see, I don't really see much. Let's see. For example, I'm staying here, and as you can see, I don't see any much on my left and the right side. But when I will turn this to the max, I see a lot more. I can see almost this guy here when I'm looking here. So it's best to have this on 110 because you can see much more than going lower than this. FOV ability scaling. So when you're using ability that will make you faster, when you use ability that will make you faster, you will actually get your field of view higher than 110, and it will make your aim different than it was. So just have this disabled and your aim will always stay the same, even if your speed is increased. Here you have the sprint view shake. It's best to have this on minimal, because when you have this on normal, when you like run, your screen will shake a little bit more, but when you have this on minimal, it will not shake so much. So I think it's better to have this on minimal. And the audio, you have this here. Here you have the master volume, so you have just like overall game volume here. You have the sound effects volume, so you can just adjust them right here. You have the dialogue volume, so when a legend, your character says something, it's not as loud. That's why I have this on pretty low, because when I'm taking the fight, I need to hear every footstep that is going that I can hear, because I just can analyze where the enemy are. And when I have this on max, I can't really hear anything because I just hear the voice lines of the legends. So it's best to have this like from 20 to 30%, I would say. Music volume and lobby music volume. I have this really low because I don't like the music. It kinda annoys me when I'm on the main menu of the game. So I just like to have this on small. And yeah, I think that's everything that you need to know about Apex settings. A lot of settings comes to personal preference, so don't just go on YouTube and search for the best Apex settings of all time, because there is nothing like this. The settings themselves will not make you better. You actually need to play with them to get consistent with them so that you can be better. But I think the best like settings that you can change right now, it's crosshair damage feedback to off, auto sprint on, and taking damage closes dev bugs off. And here I think it's the best to use hold for crouch button, use hold for aim button, have the dead zone as small as possible, so you have the better control of your aim. On the video, have the highest field of view as you can, so you will see more in the game. Disable ability scaling and set your sprint view shake on minimal. And in audio, it basically comes to your preference. So I hope that will help you set your settings right in your game, and I hope you will have a great day. So see you guys around. See ya.